Valley homestead, and I'm sitting in our new bedroom that we swapped with our oldest boys.
Oh my goodness! We get to have this room now? Thank Daddy! Whoa! This is our room now? We're sleeping here?
Yeah.
Whoa, we got a new lamp! We also got a these. Wow! Thank you guys!
Still have to paint in this room, and we're going to be redoing the floor and a few other really nice things, but we just wanted to make this swap quickly because we really wanted the boys to have a bigger space to play. They have millions of Legos, and we really wanted them to be able to do that at the desk. They're also getting older, and we want them to have their own private space to study. So our walk-in closet, it was a walk-in closet when we originally built the top floor of our house. Yvonne had actually turned into kind of an office space for me. Last winter, I believe it was, and I never really used it because I'm always downstairs with the kids and I just don't spend a lot of time in my room. So it just wasn't practical. We had a lot of square footage in our room, but it was kind of the dumping ground for our laundry. And I've just tried to implement so many different organizational systems, which shouldn't be an enormous feat, but in a large family, we tend to have an enormous amount of stuff. Even in a regular sized family, stuff just accumulates. I have made the habit over the years of just going through the house every month and just picking up extra things that we don't really need and passing them on. But I noticed we were still struggling with piles. I mean, mountains of laundry all the time. Piles of dishes. It is very time consuming, and it takes us away from doing things and being creative in other ways that we really want to be. So this week I'm going to share with you how I have discovered minimalism on a new level for our large family and what we've been doing to implement that into our homestead life. Share with you how I have been embracing minimalism with our large family to improve and streamline our homestead. And I think as a family, we didn't realize how much we were allowing into our home and how much that was taking from our time together just to enjoy these beautiful moments we have right now. And I did try to implement so many different laundry systems, dish systems, chore systems, my own organizational schedule just to cover everything throughout the day. And I think that is important to manage yourself and to have control over your time. But the volume of things that we had was insane, and even with me regularly going through our things. And I did discover this wonderful mom on YouTube called The Minimal Mom. You need to check her out if you have any interest in getting control and management or organization over your life. She said, I'm a messy person, and her house is spotless, so you wouldn't think that looking at her videos. But she said, I'm a naturally messy person, and I realized that there are some people who are very organized. She said, I feel like there's two types of people, those who are very organized and can manage a lot of things, and others who are just messy and they try really hard maybe, but it's much harder for them. So she said, I realized I needed to embrace more minimalism for our family so I had less things to manage. That is where I am right now in our household and what I have been working on the last couple weeks. Now, while I have always loved simplifying life as much as possible. I think our journey towards minimalism to this degree really began a couple months ago when we started talking about moving the older boys of ours, into our bedroom so that they would have more space. And I told my husband, like, I am going to have to do a huge overhaul of our house in order to do that, because our room was a catch-all for everything. And even with me regularly going through things, I still couldn't find the exact system for what we needed to keep versus what we could give away. And I utilized the very excellent advice I received from Marie Kondo's books, as well as The Minimal Mom on YouTube. You can check her out. She's amazing. And I started with some of the biggest, messiest places in our house, like clothing. And once I started to utilize that good advice, I realized it was extremely easy to go through our clothing when I had a plan in mind that we were keeping so many of each item, and that's it, because that's what fits. Problem area for us was the kitchen, because we had just too many containers and dishes. And this is actually an area that I have gone through probably twice a year just to get rid of things that I knew we weren't using, but I didn't have any kind of guideline in my mind for what I wanted to keep. So we decided to follow the path of the minimal mom and just keep a set of dishes per person in our household. That way we don't end up with tons of dishes piled all over the place. And instead of washing the ones that we just used, we take out more. We didn't want that happening anymore. So we just simplified everything in our kitchen. Even extra pots and pans and utensils, a couple just casserole dishes and appliances. We just decided if we haven't used them in the last 6 months, we probably won't be using them. And there's always some things in your kitchen, some tools that you kind of gravitate towards anyways each day. And I realized that there were only a few that I really used regularly. So I felt comfortable recognizing that and letting go of those extra ones. Paperwork and old photos were something that I knew I needed to go through. It was a little trickier for me because I had held on to some papers for the last decade just because I didn't know what to do with them. And I didn't know if I'd need them again someday for some purpose, but I realized I haven't used them in so long. There is no chance I'm going to be needing them in the future, so I was really comfortable getting rid of those things. As for photos, I really kept as many precious ones as I could, and I still have a whole trunk full to go through that I am in the process of simplifying now and putting into albums. I also spent time going through the miscellaneous things in our house that were just kind of tucked away in drawers, and particularly our huge DVD collection. We watched maybe a small handful of the ones that we had, but people gave us a lot and we just didn't ever pass them on, and we decided it was more than time to. Besides, with Netflix and so many options today online, we just don't need that many DVDs, period. So for in the area of toys, I have tried to monitor this a lot over the years. I think that our kids need toys because they're just a gift to their childhood, but an overwhelm of toys causes anxiety and stress more than it is a blessing in our kids' life. They need space to play, and if the floor is covered in stuff, they can't. And honestly, I find that when our kids are outdoors in the fresh air building snowmen or getting dirty, that's their best play of all. So we did keep some really special toys that our kids love, and we actually allowed them to choose which ones they wanted by giving them a bin or a toy box or a basket or something that was a good size, and told them that they could fill it up with whatever toys they wanted as long as they comfortably fit in, and that was the amount they could keep. So they really ended up choosing their favorite items. Now, the one area that I really struggle with letting go of is books. I love books. Maybe it's my just homeschool mom heart, especially just love a good book. So where we live in Quebec, it is very difficult to find English books. And when you do find them, they're often very expensive. Occasionally they'll come up at the local thrift stores, but not very often. So I have a really hard time decluttering my books. I have given many bins of books away over the last couple years, but I still have tons and tons of books. And I'm not really ready to let go of them and purge all of those books yet, or at least most of them, because we have a lot of little ones coming up behind the older kids, and I know that they're going to enjoy those books just as much as their older siblings and parents. So we're a work in progress, and don't beat yourself up if you struggle in a particular area of decluttering. It's your home. It should make you feel comfortable and peaceful. So if tons of books make you feel peaceful, that's great. But just remember that the areas that are high functioning areas like clothing and kitchen, and where, you just will end up with piles and piles of laundry and dishes, especially, it's really excellent to be able to declutter those areas as much as you can so that your life just functions better and you're a happier person and a happier mom. When you're a happier mom, your kids will notice. Give yourself and your family the chance to see that through simplifying. Finally, minimalism allows us to really understand what it is we really do love, and that what it is that gives us that peaceful feeling in our home, and surrounding ourselves more with those things rather than just tons of stuff. So you can check out our blog for more details and my climbing up the mountain to minimalism. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping by Hope Valley Homestead. Have a great day.